All right, and we are off and running. So this matchup, we're in the top 16 of the winners. So these matchups are going to be really close, especially when you consider PBs. OtterLinks has a 4109, which was acquired just in the past couple of days. I want to say within the past week or so. And Kigou has a 4225, also pretty recently acquired. So I see talking about upsets and stuff, and Kigou looking to score another upset. And yes, by PBs, this would be an upset. There's about a minute 6 difference between them. But if you're not familiar with how this happened, when we set up the tournament, it was set up by PBs. So at the time, Kigou had a much worse PB than he does now. I think his time has come down pretty heavily in the last, just since the tournament has started. He's been putting in a lot of work. He actually did a run in JRTA, and I think he got like I want to say a 42 or a 43. He had a really good JRTA run. So while seeding makes it seem like a huge upset, Kigu's actually been putting in a lot of work and has a far better time than when everything was decided. But yeah, doing a little bit of intro while we're getting rolling here. First two worlds really. Not a lot going on. I'm just looking at the slight delay. There's there's differences in delay. It looks like Otter has a small lead, even though it doesn't quite look that way on stream. Interesting. Kigou did not choose to go for the wrong warp. Otter did, and that's going to make a big difference. Otter's now got a little bit higher of a lead. So here we are with our old friend Crow, the RNG master of this game. So let's see how we do here. All right. So 1 fake on the first for Otter, 2 I think for Kigou. I was worried he was going to be too slow and hit that egg. Both runners having a little bit of bad luck here with the second egg, but nobody accidentally breaks their egg with another egg. Kind of bad time loss, a little bit worse off for Kigou, but nothing too bad. All right, yo, the 2-1 jump for Otter showing off. So if you're not familiar with the 2-1 jump, it's when I don't remember exactly how it works in DKC2. I think it's a little bit different in 3, which is kind of my background. But essentially the goal is to hit B and A within like 1 or 2 frames of one another, and then do a jump, and that sends you way up higher in the air. So however, Otter did not get the big boy, and Kigou did, so it's a little bit of time made up there. Still early on, so this is I imagine going to be pretty close or pretty back and forth for quite a while. All right, it's time for our guitar break, mandatory guitar break. Guitar break, about 3.5 minutes into the run. But yeah, we're going to start seeing a lot of really good matches, especially because we have, top 16 winners. So we got a bunch of 42s versus 41s, or 40s versus 42s. It's craziness. This is where it starts to get a little bit more intense, I think, and people start maybe feeling the stakes are a little bit higher, or maybe you can't make as many mistakes. I know a lot of the runners have been putting in a lot of hard work. Otter's cutting his time. He's almost at a 40. Kigou is, like I said, has come down a lot. We've got Void and Namix coming up. 2 runners, 2 sub 42 runners. Void, if you didn't see his last match, got a 40-40, which was insane. So there's just going to be a lot of really good gameplay coming up here tonight. Good lava fly from both runners. Kigou went a little far out there. That's kind of scared me a little bit. No flying did he though. That's all right. Very good cleaver from Otter. All right, there's the flying ditty. Thank you, Kigou. Thank you. Meanwhile, in chat, Spike is offering people like to offer up their souls for a Final Fantasy IX tournament. All right, we are through the warp worlds. We are on to a little more meat in the gameplay. This point, I mean, with PBs kind of this far apart, when I say this far apart, it's a little over a minute. You're gonna notice some small differences. They're gonna start becoming a lot more minute. There's gonna be smaller optimizations, maybe a few strats like top sail wrong warp. I mean, main brace. I don't know. I always get those two levels mixed up because they both have wrong warps. Either way. Things like that are going to make the small differences. Glimmers may be a good example. I'm not, like I said, I'm not too familiar with all the runners, and I'm in particular not familiar with how well they do glimmers. But you know, if you notice some bonking, some smaller things like that, you know, that's where you start to save a lot of time, and you start to kind of differentiate between the 41s and the 42s. Pretty clean looking from Otter so far. Got past my personal least favorite part of the level a few moments ago with the lockjaw that's kind of waiting for you at the top of a swim or top of a corridor. The Kigou looking fine as well. Oh, small bonk there from Otter though. Making a few mistakes isn't too bad, but it's like, you know, we've said time and time throughout this tournament. It's just, you can notice, you know, as you bonk more and more, you know, those frames or that 1/10 of a second starts to add up. But both played really well throughout that level. All right, Crockhead time. This is the first dangerous level of the run, I would say. You know, first level of World 3, not too bad. Super jump can cost you when you're learning. You don't get it. Glimmers is pretty much about swimming optimization. This level is just dangerous. Physics on the Crockheads. You know, so these optimal strats are pretty tight. You don't want to make any kind of mistake. Both players playing pretty solid. Looks like Kigou playing a little bit safer though. There definitely was a gap that opened up between the two. Yeah, Kigou playing it very safe. All right, Rattle Battle. Me and my boy Spike love this level. Spike likes to showcase his musical talents here as well. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna hopefully not really see a lot of mistakes here. It's gonna be pretty clean. And again, I'm just gonna not say those kind of things again. So fortunately, that's not too punishing. There's a DK barrel right there. But you start to gain an understanding for Radley's hitboxes. That doesn't mean they're always going to go the way you think they will, but you're a little bit cleaner. Yeah, that mistake was not too costly for Otter. You lose a little bit because of the damage and the split second you have the Kong barrel. All right, so here we come to what I would call the first mandatory wrong warp. Top sail, main brace, small time saves. Definitely don't need to learn if you're not comfortable. The clobber bash in Hothead saves a little bit of time. Saves a little bit of time, but not a huge deal. Otter, unfortunately, does not get the clash. This opens the door for Kigou, a big door for Kigou. That's very unfortunate. The Dixie clash is a lot easier to get than the Diddy clash in pretty much every circumstance. So Kigou opens up a huge lead now. But Dixie clash, it's a little bit easier. Plus Dixie has that longer animation, which makes it a little bit easier to clash off of. Oh my gosh. Otter's just going for it. He's going to play the level normally. But this is hopefully Otter knows the backup. Ooh, that's not good either. That's pretty devastating. But the water is still despawned. So, while I think it's very, very important to learn this wrong warp first and foremost, it is also really important if you're new or, you know, don't forget as you get better how to play this level normally for settings like this, for races and such. Because if you fail the wrong warp, you're pretty much stuck in the same situation Otter is in now, because you break the halfway point, the water level rises back, and you cannot complete the wrong warp without... Well, you really can at that point. You'd have to go back and beat another level to not end up at the halfway point. So Otter moving on, gets through it. Oh, we had some excitement early on, but fear not, there is still a lot of games, so anything can still happen. OtterLinks by no means out of this. As you consider, all of World 4, for the most part, is pretty tricky. You have Brambler still to come, you have Mudhole still to come, you have PCP, Parachute Panic. There's still just tons of places for time to be gained or lost. And that's not going to help Otter's case. So, unfortunately, very off on the Vine clip there, and actually lost the Kong, meaning he has to go through what we call the Maze of Shame. Look like Kigou played a pretty safe cudgel fight. Notice not a lot of quick hits going on. Oh, and now we got a guitar. Just remember, guys, this is fine. There's still a lot to happen. Tired monkey, I would not make that. I would not say that. It's like I said, there's still a lot of very tricky, difficult levels still to come in this run. Kill. Oh man. See? Like I said, this is fine. Still a lot to happen. Alright. Let's see what's going on here. We got so small time saver here versus what Kigou is doing, and you know maybe that's all it takes is a mistake from Kigou and the small optimizations from Otter for Otter to be right back in this. Sadly, Target Terror doesn't have a lot going on for it. It's another one of those small optimizations levels. That's how auto-scrollers typically are in at least DKC2 and DKC3. DKC1 auto-scrollers usually either have a warp or have a jump roll or something silly to it. But yeah, like jumping over that dragonfly is small optimization. Hornet Hole, though. I like Hornet Hole. I'm a big fan of Hornet Hole, and not just because it has scrolly scroll. Alright, so did not get the damage boost there. It's not a huge deal. Just has to swap Kongs, so we have Diddy in front. But, yeah. Oh, Kigou goes for swag balloon. Kigou doing a little bit of swag, yet is taking some safer strats in places. Very, very interesting. All right, here's our next big kind of question mark point. Brambler. Now, I don't know how safe Kigou's gonna play it. All right, he's trying to, okay. So what he was doing there was playing it a little bit safe to make sure the ID is for the wrong warp matchup. Going Kipple's corner, but does not get the clash still. So while we're kind of here and we're gonna kind of revisit Brambler, the basics of this is you're trying to take two objects, in this case, the beetle and the side of the wall there, and you're trying to clash them to create an invisible object. And that's kind of phase one, or one component of how this works. The other key component is that the IDs have to work to where the invisible object spawns the right thing. So the first attempt that you saw him kind of go down the vine and kind of re-get the crook to throw his hook. And that's so when you get up to the top of the barrel, the proper IDs are loaded and the trick works as intended. But Kigou gets it there second try. Really nice. Got up the vines faster, so he didn't have to kind of reset the vines. And got the clash. He did a little bit of a safety strat by kind of walking into that corner of the little bend, but it worked out. But this opens a big door for Otter to gain up a lot of ground if he can get first try Brambler. Same level. Not quite. Rickety Brace. Pretty easy level with one really tricky part if you're not careful, and it's right here. But Kigou's fine. Does it properly, so he doesn't have to worry about number 2 guy being near the edge. Alright, Brambler time. Ooh, looks good. Let's make sure as long as he's got the IDs matched, then we're fine. This is fine. First try. Very good. That's a big moment for Otter. Helps him catch up a lot. And Niaki's kind of making reference to a big thing, especially in races, or really anywhere, but particularly in races, is you have to not let past mistakes affect present and future performance. You have to be able to kind of just compartmentalize that you screwed up, understand I'm not here to get a PB, I'm here to win a race, or I'm here to give a good show, and kind of just move on. Which for the most part, it seems that he's done. I mean, had the slip up with Vine Clip, but that really wasn't so much necessarily a frustration problem. That's just he was slightly off on the trick, and unfortunately it cost him his Kong. Oh, see, and here we go. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Kigou takes a death, has to restart Mudhole. And all of a sudden, here comes Otter, nearing the very end of Rickety Race. See if Kigou can do a good job of putting the mistakes behind him and keep going. Approaching the Mudhole wrong warp, which I label as one of the more technical. It's right up there with Chain Link Chamber in World 6 as a pretty technical setup as far as getting the IDs to match and getting the wrong warp to work. Oh, Kigou does not get it. He does not get the clash. Tried to let go of Y a little too early. So that's going to cost him. I don't know if Otter... Yeah, Otter could take the lead here, I think. It's going to be very, very close. I think Kigou would still have a slight lead, though. Okay, wow. And just like that, they are seconds apart. I think when you account for delay, because I have both of their timers up here, I think it's almost tied. I think Kigou has about a 1 second lead based on their timers. But Otter gets fine skip, or excuse me, B skip. There's too many skips in this game. And so, I mean, Otter is now in the lead. And this is why you don't give up. You keep calm. You say, this is fine. And you keep playing the game. You never... This game is brutal. It is difficult, especially at this kind of level that these two runners are at. So anything can happen. Any mistake can happen. Nothing is too crazy at this point. All right, don't sleep on the king, everybody. This boss should be nice and free, pretty easy, but yet it is still easy to mess up. Oh, just like that. Just like that. So Kigu's still going to exit World 4 with a lead, albeit a much, much smaller one than he had coming in. In fact, if the splits are accurate, Kigou has a 1 second lead on Otter. Now keep in mind there's some different delays. So I have a little bit of a different vantage point, but Kigou does gain a little bit of time because he has to, Otter has to go for Diddy here and swap him to the front. So after the pandemonium that was World 4, I kind of consider the first two levels of World 5 to be a little bit of a breather in between kind of the Brambler, Mudhole, even Ramby Rumble to a lesser extent of the world, and then Parachute Panic in Webwoods and Gusty Glade. Oh, did not. Oh, Otter being a little dangerous there, but it worked out. This could be another level where you see some slight differences playing a part. So the idea in this auto-scroller to save as much time as possible is to jump up and down the bigger slopes, as well as try not to jump on flat ground as much as possible, and doing things like jumping through the doors. These are the things that are going to save time, and I also need to refresh OtterStream. Okay, there we go. But both players having a pretty good haunted hall so far. Nobody took the bonuses, thank goodness. I wouldn't expect them to, but you never know. Sometimes it's tricky, especially in a game like this where it teaches you to try and jump to get to get to other tracks. That bonus is just sneaky there, kind of back for the midpoint. But both racers having a pretty good haunted hall. Both seem to have a pretty good grasp on how to efficiently go through this level. I tell you, Vooligen, that the JB is still difficult. So there's not a lot of version differences between English and Japanese. One of them is the number of Bs. I mean, it's not as relevant now because we passed it. There's a certain point that has 2 Bs versus 1 B, depending on what version you play. But jumping over those Bs on flat ground is a lot more difficult than you might think. Ooh, Otter loses Diddy, does not decide to go back for the barrel. That's probably, I imagine that's the right choice. Never mind. So one of the unfortunate things is where Dixie controls differently. Oh my gosh! Gusty has been a little bit of a little deceptive in the races that I've had lately. Seems like racers are having a little bit more trouble here than you might expect. But this is a difficult set of levels. Oh my goodness. Oh my... So I'd like to recant an earlier statement where I said nothing takes you by surprise much anymore. That took me by surprise. I did not expect that to happen. And Kigou did not grab the midpoint, so just like that, Otter is back in the lead. Oh my goodness. Gusty Glade. Gusty Glade, I would not expect to be a big game changer of a level. But it is eating them up right now. Otter looking fine. Otter gets through. All right. Wow. I was not expecting that. Kigou has Dixie here again. Opting to get Diddy this time. No whammies. All right, PCP. Let's hope that somehow PCP is a less exciting stage than what we just watched. Holy moly! All right, Kigou moving on. Sorry, it's hard to commentate this level. It goes so fast, and it's so much fun to watch at a high level. Okay. Very well done by OtterLinks. Very, very well done. Kigou also going for the same strats, the 1 damage strats. The great thing about PCP is that you have the option of pretty much taking it at your own speed. There's various levels of strats. You can play it as safe as you want to. So while it looks like a pretty frightening level, it's actually not that bad to learn. All right, Web Woods, the level that most people normally think is going to Stonewall Racers. Kigou went for the safety Kong there. Otter making way to halfway point. Good damage boost. So with Squitter, you have the opportunity to do a jump after you get hit. It's not too tight of a window to do it, but still not free as far as getting the damage boost jump. Here's the next one, and it's always scary because in this level you're doing them over gaps. But Otter, very clean web woods. Let's make sure. Okay, very good web woods from Otter. Kigou is having a pretty good first half. Now kind of moving on to the scarier section of the level. Nacho throwing down the Chilean pesos for Webwood's wrong warp. Both had a really good Webwoods. Like I said, Gusty Glade, not an easy level, but certainly not the level you expect to be the Stonewall. The level that holds people up. Alright, Creepy Crow, another source, one of the limited sources of RNG in this game, depending on where your barrels spawn. Not a bad fight, though, from OtterLinks. And of course, you swap to Dixie at the end because it's faster to swap and get Dixie Guitar than it is to get the Diddy Rap at the end. Yeah, I mean, that's a great point, Vooligan. I mean, this has been such a... there's been just a lot of unfortunate accidents, and neither racer let their nerves get to them, and they both performed really well on Webwoods. Oh, there we go. I didn't even have to wait before I could talk about Unguard's bad hitboxes in this game. Kigou also getting through Creepy Crow without a problem. So Unguard has some bad hitboxes in this game. I think that hit was a little just kind of unoptimal movement, but there's just times where you're in the middle of the lunge, you think you're safe, you're doing an attack, and bam, you take a hit. There we go, just like that. So Otter in a little bit of a precarious spot here, but this stretch has... Okay, cool. That was the dangerous stretch. Now he just has to be careful. All right, through the danger and moving on to Windy Well. Fortunately, this level seems to know that Unguard has some pretty crappy hitboxes, and they just flood this level with DK barrels. All right, Kigou taking a hit, kind of in the same area. Also in a little bit of a precarious spot here, but plays it pretty safe, doesn't get too close to those starfish before coming out of his charge, and again, just has to be careful. Good. All right. All right, Windy Well, another one of those kind of optimization levels. There's a few little tricks you can do to help yourself out, but for the most part, it's things like what you're about to see here, where you sneak under the bee, you kind of skip that platform on the right completely. That one's one of the easier ones. Kigou's about to come up. The first one is a little bit harder, trying to sneak like this. Gets it though. You saw Otter did a damage boost to kind of skip a small section. Another one, that saves a little bit more time. It's usually worth it to learn that, but it's not a huge enough time save that if you don't feel comfortable that you're like losing out on a minute. All right, Otter going for Ghetto Bees. Oh, looks good, looks good. Nice, well done. So that trick's important because it's a time saver. It lets you skip under 2 Bs in that first kind of swoop. But he also didn't lose a Kong, which means he can go straight to Castle Crush because he does need the Kong barrel that you get at the start. Kigou also going. All right, looks good. All right, both runners get Ghetto Bees. Excellent. Well done. All right, Kigou also moving on to Castle Crush. So, if you're not familiar, if this is your first match, you're about to see a pretty neat trick that involves keeping this barrel safe the entire time. You also need 2 conks because you do take intentional damage. So you're going to see them guard this with their lives. Yes, the companion barrel. It will always love you even if you throw it in an incinerator. All right, so he's going to clash here kind of at the top of the chain on the left, in the kind of the display or the background. And just like that, by doing the clash, running into the enemy and losing Diddy, you have summoned the goal kind of down and saving you over 2 minutes of time. Just like that. All right, so there's been a lot of kind of dangerous strats, bad on guard hitboxes, tough tricks. Well, goal summon is really not that tough, but you certainly don't. It's a trick you want to make sure you never mess up. And we have clappers, which is kind of a nice breather. All right, Kigou gets the goal summon. Very good. Goal summon is another one of those tricks you pretty much have to learn early on. It's really not that difficult. The most difficult part is making sure you don't accidentally lose the barrel. All right, so Otter threw Dixie into the invisibility barrel here. It's less than a second time save, but we're just kind of throwing up into it or jumping up into it. But the idea is to try and get through all of these enemies here while you're still invincible, but Otter had kind of some small missteps that cost him. But still overall good level. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed the breather that was clappers. Now we have another trick. Oop. And now we have a missing Kong. Fortunately, that was about the best place you could ever lose a Kong, because the barrel was right there. All right, let's see if Kigou can kind of get through all of the enemies at once. Looks good so far. I didn't see if he had a misstep when he got it. Very good. So that's what it looks like done optimally. And now for the hardest wrong warp. Oh. Let's see. I don't know if the IDs are going to be fine. Nope. Otter misses it. So big opportunity for Kigou here. Kigou does not miss the warp. Kigou would have a small lead if they both got it here. Kigou gets it. So once again, another lead change. But not a huge one, because there comes Otter. Oh my gosh, this is a race. This is a really race. So let's see. Toxic Tower strats can make a big difference here. I think they're both going to be... They look to be doing kind of the same thing here. So maybe not a huge chance for Otter to gain a lot of time. This is nuts. All right, Otter wisely grabbing the midpoint, in my opinion. Whoa! Okay, I didn't realize you could slip under or above that B, but that worked out nicely, didn't it? We're both going for the hardcore strats. There is no wimping out here. I don't know if they have each other's streams open, but they have to know they're in a pretty close race. They keep tabs on their timer to see when they both exit. All right, Kigou exits at 40:08. Otter exits at 40-10. 40-11-ish. So there's we have one level and a boss to go, and we are 2.5-ish seconds apart. This is nuts. Alright, let's see what Otter does. Otter has a pretty good time, so there may be some strats here that we're not going to see. Oh? Otter instead choosing to play it a little bit safer. A big key is to not let yourself be tricked into doing something you're not comfortable with. Oh! And while I was looking away, Kigou lost Diddy somewhere, so Otter is in the lead again. Both getting a race skip. Otter getting that first barrel skip. Small time saver. I'm trying to keep... Oh no, Otter loses the Kong. That makes this a lot more dangerous. Okay, good. I was worried he was going to try and go for that, and it did not look like a great setup. They both need to play it calm. They both have one Kong. Still a tricky area to come here. These walls are not very friendly. Alright. 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 Oh my gosh. 41-49 and 41-53-54-ish. Oh man. Even K. Rool's not a guarantee. One slip on K. Rool and this is entirely changed. I think I'm going to need to pull up IRC as well. Okay, I've got everything prepared so I can keep tabs. So, first time I've had an issue this morning. As I said previously, there are differences in delay here. And when it's this close, and if one or two things kind of lose a little bit of time, we may not actually know who wins until I'm looking over in IRC. This has been a match of mistakes, but man, has it been a crazy good match nonetheless. Yeah, that's a big thing here. I don't think there's really enough time for that to make a huge difference, but trying to get that cannonball in as quick as possible. What in the world is going on here? Oh my gosh. Otter losing Diddy. That just closes the gap a little bit more. Holy moly. They are literally on the same phase, like one shot apart. Not even one shot apart. Playing a little bit safe. Keeping Dixie in front. I don't know if you can really afford to swap. Or you might not know if you can afford to swap. Blue Diddy? Are you nuts? No way. Oh. Wow, Kigou playing with fire there a little bit. Choosing not to just sail over it. One hit to go. Oh, I'm right there with you, Dat lost it. I'm like... Oh my gosh. Okay, this is it. Final shot. Otter does it. That's it, folks. Oh my gosh. What a race. What a freaking race, man. Looking over at IRC, our times are 45:17 and 45:23. Now, granted, it's oh my gosh. Whew. All right, sorry guys, I'm trying to see if I can get Otter in here to talk about that. I'm very curious to see how Otter is feeling after that. What did you guys think? What did you guys think? Hello, we have OtterLinks in here. Hello.
Hi.
How are you feeling right now?
I don't know.
Did you have Kigu's stream open?
Yes, I mean I assume that I kind of lost after that stunt in Slime Climb, and then I turned up the tournament stream to see how bad it was, and it was very fine. It was very bad. I mean, and then I hit my head like 5 times and kept going because I couldn't allow myself to be on field. So
yeah, I thought you did a really good job of recovering after that rocky end of World 3.
Yes, that was my main concern, to not to be tilted in World 4, because I knew that the race wasn't over, so I kept going. And yes, I mean, when I saw that Kigou had problem in Mud Hole, I kind of got a little hope. And then, well, I don't know how I won this. I don't really know. Well,
that was just I mean that was kind of my theme here. That anything can happen. I mean, you guys kind of traded back and forth.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Anana choose Kigou was ahead several times. It did go back and forth quite a bit.
Yeah.
All right, we actually do have Kigou in here. Hello.
Oh,
hello.
Hi,
Kigou. How are you feeling? That was something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't so close race because I 3 times die in the World 4 and World 4 5-1 this. I so lost so deleted links. I think links get 42 or 43 or something. Yeah.
Yes, you had no idea it was that close.
Yeah, so good, so funny race for me. Race is really enjoying.
Oh, I gotta say that was it was so weird because after Slime Climb you guys were so close, so I'm sitting here like trying to like go back and forth and see, you know, is there gonna be something that puts one guy in the lead or not? And yeah, that was a great match, you guys.
Yeah.
You know, there were mistakes made, but you guys still made it really exciting to watch. So some congrats and good job.
Yes. Thanks. I bet it was a very interesting race to watch.
Yes, me too. Thanks for watching.
Yeah,
GG Kigou.
But yeah, Kigu's still in it though. You've got well, you got a little bit before you know who your next match is. There's still a few more in the losers bracket before you come up again. But Otter, you got either Chris or Feast next, so it's only gonna get tougher, right?
Yes, I was thinking about that, and if I ever win that, I will probably face either Void or Antilles, so it's not getting any easier for me.
It's
but that's really exciting.
yeah, we're getting some really fun matches here. This was a great match. So thank you both very much for this.
Thanks.
Thanks.
All right. So
Okay.
after that, I hope you guys have your catch your breath here. We have another really good match coming up. We have Nomics versus Void. I believe that is the next match because I think I'm taking a breather here.
Ooh,
So
Great
interesting.
race.
yeah, congrats on a great race, guys. And then stay tuned, everybody. We've got 2 more matches. I will be back after this next match. I will be commentating the Antilles KBZ match. So thank you guys for watching and keep watching and enjoy the races.
Nice. Okay, I'm Kanan out here.
Hey.
Thanks for watching, everyone. See ya.
Everyone, thanks for watching
Yeah.
and GG.
GG again, Kigo.
Goodbye.
Looks like my boy Antilles is here, so I'm going to pass it off to you, bud. Have fun. It's going to be a great one to commentate. Oh, maybe he's not here yet. I can't hear him.
Okay, sorry guys.
There
I thought
we
I was
are.
talking, but I was talking, but I wasn't talking. Yeah, I am very very excited for this next race. I literally just sat down on my computer and I look at the time that we have here: 45:17 versus 45:23. Unbelievable. That is this is not fine, OtterLinks. Loving it. But we've got some fine stuff going with Nomics and Void coming up next. This is I'm probably more excited for this race tonight, honestly, than I am my own race later this evening. This is 2 really high-level players. Void, the best player in the world. Nom, one of my best friends. The friend who I introduced to this game and to speedrunning, who has since surpassed me by almost a minute. So very, very excited for this matchup in a moment. I believe Sylvite will be joining me on commentary here in the next few minutes. And looks like Void and Nam are still setting up, so we'll have a few more minutes before we get rolling with this really high-level race. So yeah, Void is clearly a player who needs no introduction. The world record holder, veteran of a couple GDQs, yeah, world record holder not only in any percent at 40 minutes and 24 seconds, but also in 102%. He's one of the few people with a 128. I can't remember if he's the only person. I think Fist might have gotten a 128 as well. But then also the 103 world record holder, very high level player in DKC 1 and DKC 3, and he'll be representing one of our teams in wonder if it's too early to say this publicly what all the teams are, but one of the teams in our DKC trilogy relay at AGDQ. Nomics, as I mentioned, a good friend of mine who was looking to get into streaming about a little over a year ago, maybe just about a year ago, and for some reason decided to play this crazy game because I guess I was doing it. For some reason, Sylvite, is that you, my friend?
It sure is.
Welcome, buddy. Welcome. Yeah, for some reason. Why did you start playing this game, Sylvite?
Why did I start playing this game? Well, I was browsing the SRL homepage, the Speedruns Live homepage, kind of looking for games that I knew how to play. And, you know, some of the people who played this game, you know, they didn't really interact with chat that much until I found this one streamer. I can't remember his name. I think it might have been Antilles or something.
No way.
He started explaining all the stuff of this game to me, and I was like, wow.
Did I get you into this?
Maybe.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right.
I think it was it was Nam's first stream, and I remember hosting him and posting on Twitter, "Hey guys, new streamer, come watch him." And Supreme came into his chat, and he found out that I knew Nam in real life, and he said, "Wait, you got Nam into Donkey speedrunning? That's not being a good friend."
Yeah.
Well, I'm honored to have brought you into this horrible mess.
Well, I wrote a song last night about this. We can talk about that some other time.
Yeah, I saw a link. I was meaning to check that out later. That's awesome. Looks like Void's about to go live here in a minute. But yeah, Nam, for some reason, decided to play this game. And he's somebody who used to do fighting games competitively. So he's very naturally gifted at gaming. And I think that the quick twitch reflexes, knowing combos and moves really translated very well into speedrunning. And he very quickly moved up the leaderboards. He's been doing this for less than a year and has a very high level time of 41:40. So little over a minute separates the best that these two guys have to offer. And as we've seen time and time again, it's possible to lose time in unexpected places. So this could be a pretty exciting matchup.
Absolutely. Void played basically out of his mind in his last round. We'll see
against me.
That up.
Yeah, against me. I was just honored to be a part of that. Honestly, to be a part of him pulling off a 40 in the tournament was unbelievable.
Absolutely, that was tournament world record and race world record, I think.
Yep, definitely was. Only 16 seconds off the actual. Void. Yeah, 16 seconds off the real world record.
Right.
And he had. I got to watch it back, and he only had a few mistakes that cost any notable time. So he's mastered this game as well as it can be mastered. But Nam is right there with him as far as learning really good movement. There's not any advanced tech that Nam doesn't do at this point. So the difference between the two players is that Void's movement and timing on his jumps and rolls is just a little bit better.
Right. And at the end of the day, he's just been playing the game a lot longer, right?
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Probably about a year and a half longer than Nam has. So that really is the difference, I think, between a 40 and a 41 is probably about a year or so worth of play. Not straight. I mean, everybody takes breaks and works on other things, but it takes a lot of work. And once you get to that level, a lot of natural talent. Anybody can speedrun, but I don't know that anybody can get a 40.
Yeah, Void is also just really competitive by nature. A lot of the stuff that he does, he gets into the competitive side of it. So I think the idea of competing against himself with PBs might have inherently appealed to him.
Yeah, I think that's one of the major appeals in speedrunning in general is, sure, when you throw in Twitch and SRL and the race tournament community aspects, that can be pretty fun, but it really is competing against yourself at its core, trying to do just a little bit better than you did last time. And that's why speedrunning is really, when I have new people coming around talking about speedrunning isn't about going faster than the other guy, except, well, tonight it is, but in general, it's about just going fast for you, trying to beat the game as fast as you can, and then maybe go a little bit faster the next time. And that's a speedrun. That counts.
Yeah, not to say that you shouldn't have goals. Like, there are well-established goals, like, beating the game in under 50 minutes, beating the game in under 44:16. And those can help you competing against yourself. Like,
definitely.
I don't think I would still be playing the game if the whole cut the twig meme didn't exist.
Yeah, I thought I'd be done when I cut the twig, but for some reason I'm still doing this.
Well, now you have to retake your crown from Nam.
He might have pulled ahead of me for good, I think, with 41:40. My goal right now, I've got a 42:35 right now, and I'll be happy with a 41. Ideally, I'd love to cut Garrison's time of 41:51, I believe, because Garrison was one of the first players I ever saw do this game. Met him at the first SGDQ I went to a few years ago, and just to be even mentioned in the same sentence as him would be a pretty cool feeling. So that's probably where I'll stop. I think Nam's safe at 41:40.
Yeah, and still definitely able to cut that time is Nam.
Oh yeah, for sure. Nam, he and I have been talking. He's considered going for a 40. He's not sure if he wants to put in the grind for it, but he's someone who I think, if he put in the work, would definitely be capable.
Right, for sure. We were talking earlier about putting in the work, and that's true for new players, especially. I think I was talking to Canis the other day, and he was telling me that it was really cool that I had gone from a 49 to a 45 in about a month, and really I just started playing the game more.
Yeah, that's what it takes. It's to get to sub 1 is basically know the levels and don't die. 50 adds a few strats to it, and then 50 to 45 is just some work. You know, it's just developing consistency, developing generally good movement. You don't have to be optimal to get that kind of time, but you definitely need to be practiced enough to know what's coming and know how to react to different situations. And then eventually it becomes a slog of doing the same levels over and over and over again, trying to save off that extra second or half a second in various places. And what Void's showing now I don't know, is that up on Speed Gaming? I guess I'm only watching their streams, but Void's showing us here some pretty good movement through Mudhole, as is Nam for that matter. They're both showing one of the harder stages in the game.
It is, yeah. I think my mic might have glitched out. Give me a second.
No problem.
All right, I think I'm good now. My sound card has some really weird issues. Hopefully that'll manifest tonight.
Looks like they're readying up, or at least Void is. So we should have this race underway any minute now. But yeah, basically the second my race against Void last week ended, I called commenting this because I knew he and Nam were going to be racing each other, and I'm probably more excited for this matchup than I was for my match against Void.
Yes, well before this match was scheduled, Antilles wanted to commentate this.
Sylvite, thank you for claiming it for us the second you saw it go up.
Absolutely. Wouldn't miss this for the world. Maybe the world, but not.
Yeah, world would be a pretty good prize. This isn't like even the finals or anything.
I definitely wouldn't miss it for my state. I might miss it for the world.
Maybe some states. There are certain states that maybe you would take it for, but not yours.
No, not mine. There are other states.
What state do you live in? Do I know this?
You do. I might just PM that to you though.
All right, we can leave that out. I'm in Colorado. Hi everybody who's in Colorado.
Yeah, my state's significantly smaller than Colorado, suffice to say, so you can narrow it down a bit more.
Yeah, that cuts it like into a quarter. All right, we're readied up. Race is starting here in 10 or 5 seconds SRL time. So any second now, we'll get him on the streams.
And here we go.